Visual elements. Social distance is the distance between the viewer and subject. How close or far away is the subject shown? Social distance is measured on a continuum from extremely close to extremely remote. This is based on how comfortable we generally feel with people being close to us, in real-life situations. Close social distance. If the subject is shown to be very close to you, it takes up most of the frame, and you can only see part of the subject. As seen in the example from Little Beauty by Anthony Brown at the side, a close framing of the subject is created through a close-up. A close-up can imply a close, intimate, and familiar relationship with the subject. This can be comfortable if you like the character but might be confronting if the character is a bully, for example. Mid-social distance. This is where the subject is quite close, as seen in the second image from Little Beauty at the side. It shows at least half of the subject's body in the frame and a little bit of the setting. This is considered a friendly distance, as in real life we would be close enough to touch each other and talk. This framing of the subject is created through a mid-shot. Group social distance. When you can see the character's whole body, and perhaps other characters, and more of the setting, this indicates that the subject is further away from you. This is group social distance, where you are positioned to be part of a larger group. As evident in the image at the side from The Tunnel by Anthony Brown, we are positioned close enough to feel involved with these boys and their ball game, but it is less personal. This framing of the subject is created through a mid-long shot. Public social distance. The further a subject is positioned away from you, the less connection you feel, and subjects therefore appear like strangers. We are too far away to easily talk to the subject. In the example from Rose Meets Mr. Wintergarten by Bob Graham, Mr. Wintergarten is small and distant, and Rose and her family are even further away outside the window. As the subjects become further away, and therefore smaller, the setting becomes more dominant. The framing of the subject at this distance is created through a long shot. Remote social distance. When the subject is positioned a very long way away from you, the subjects are tiny and hard to recognize in the vast setting. This remote social distance means there is no opportunity for social interaction. This remote framing of the subject is created through an extreme long shot. This is shown in the example from Rose Meets Mr. Wintergarten by Bob Graham. This image from the front of the book shows the setting in detail, but the subjects are tiny and a very long way from the viewer. There is no social connection possible. Focalization, the design of a visual point of view, is how the author positions the viewer to see the subjects and action in an image. The author can use different choices of focalizer, or who sees, to create and manipulate the external viewer's position and affiliation with characters or the subject of the image. In sequential narrative texts such as film or animation, or picture books, the author can manipulate the external viewer's position and affiliation with characters as the story unfolds, adding color, richness, and emotional layers to storytelling. The focalizer options for designing how the audience sees events are: 1. Direct as viewer, reader, yourself. 2. Indirectly, mediated through a character, either as a character, first person, or along with character, for example looking over a character's shoulder. Gaze refers to where the figure in the image is looking. 2 types of gaze. 1. Demand is a term used when a figure in the image gazes directly out of the page at the responder. This establishes a connection between subject and viewer. 2. Offer is a term used when a figure gazes at another object in the image, encouraging us to look at that object. The viewer is a detached onlooker.